And of course, I did not hit record. I just thought that I recorded the most wonderful message, but I didn't. So, guys, I just wanted to pop on here and tell you that the enrollment for the focus room October sprint is closing tomorrow. The focus room is my private membership. That's where we do our sprints together live on the same schedule. I'm the one who is hosting all the calls, sprint planning, sprint review, all the co-working sessions. I'm the one who's running it. And that's the place where I share my most up-to-date practices, my innovations, improvements to the system. Podcast and YouTube tend to be outdated in terms of what I'm currently doing and what you see on those platforms. There is a lag, and I usually don't have time to record everything that is happening and all my improvements. So if you want the most up-to-date agile system when it comes to managing your own projects, and you want to apply the same successful principles of agile to your own non-tech projects, that's the place where we do it. We follow the traditional rituals of agile and scrum, but I've adapted them to be more applicable to the rest of us who do not work in tech, but the philosophy and mindset is the same. I am the one who is hosting all the calls, the sprint planning, sprint review, co-working calls. So on Friday, we have our sprint planning call. That's where I take you through the sprint planning process and set the goals for the sprint. Our sprint is 3 weeks. So you create a one-page document that you can print out. You can convert it into a Scrum board, and I'll show you how. And then we have a 3-week sprint. We meet twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, for co-working session. That's something that I've borrowed from my grad school. I was invited to a secret writing group in grad school. It was formed by a bunch of professors who've realized that all the admin work, all the coursework was so distracting, and it was taken away from their most important job, which is doing research. When you're a professor, that's ultimately what you're being compensated and rewarded for. But the environment around you is going against that. So they were proactive. They formed this secret writing group where they would get together, lock the doors, ban emails and messages, and just focus on doing research, on doing writing, on doing literature review. And that was their life-saving solution. That's where they were able to do their meaningful work. And that's where I was able to write most of my dissertation when I was in grad school. So I took the same approach and brought it into the focus room. Twice a week, we meet, we lock the doors, turn down all the distractions, and we focus on our sprint goals, the things that we think are the most important or the one that will take us forward in the direction we want to go. So that's happening in life. It's not pre-recorded. Well, let's be honest, who shows up for those things? If it's not live, I don't think that people would show up. So that's why we are doing them live. We also have members who schedule their own working sessions and invite other people to join. That was something that we've created a few months ago, and it's been wonderful because I'm physically not able to host a lot of those calls. With me running my camping business, I'm on the road a lot. I have other responsibilities, so I cannot be in front of my computer doing this, hosting this co-working sessions all the time. But I'm glad that other people are ready to take on this responsibility as a byproduct. They also create a space for other members to join and do their work. And then at the end of the sprint, we have the sprint review call. The focus room is the place where you create a custom tailored system that works for you, for your character, personality, constraints, limitations, your number of kids, for your commitments. And the sprint retrospective is when we actually do this tailoring. We run an experiment throughout 3 weeks, and then we join together again, live, all of us on the same call, review what the hell just happened, and we draw some valuable lessons. The more I do this kind of work, the more I realize that we are in the point of our lives. I think, like, if you're above 30 years of age, you have some experience. The most insightful lessons are not found out there in the books, in the lessons, and in the lectures. It's found inside. That's our own reflection, conclusion, our own opinions. But our modern life robs us for the opportunity to stop and reflect and really decide what we value, where we want to go next. And the sprint retrospectives is kind of like this forced moment where we stop and reflect. The members of the focus room agree that it's kind of like it's the most overlooked practice. It's the one that you can justify not going for. But if you show up, it's the most important part of the sprint. When you force yourself to stop and reflect on the last 3 weeks and what worked and what didn't, the insights, the lessons that you take from that, it beats any book, any lecture, any TED Talk. I can guarantee that. And it's the most applicable to you. And then we have a cool off week, because the cool off week is, well, you'll learn more about the cool off week if you join. And then we repeat all over. The beauty is that you can cancel if you don't like it during the first sprint. You don't have to stay. We are very chill when it comes to that. We are not the productivity rah kind of group. Calm, sane, sustainable, down to earth, rational, and respectful to yourself. So yeah, we are not going to be doing rah productivity dances around you. That's not going to happen. It's a very different kind of life. Yeah, if you are up for it, if you want the environment that is curated to encourage you to do the meaningful work, not to do everything on your to-do list, to choose the meaningful and show up daily for that meaningful work and be done with it at the end of the day. Not like fully done, but be done with your daily practice, daily work, and then show up for it again the next day. If you're tired of all this loud productivity noise out there and you want something different, come join us. We'll be here for you this Friday during our sprint planning call. And that's why the enrollment ends on Thursday. If you're interested, come join us. The link will be in the description.